All right, so getting back into Magneto's series that came out back in 2014, we pick up with Magneto right now going into the mountains. Now, I do want to mention one thing. Remember, this series came out way before Jonathan Hickman took over the X-Men universe. On top of that, this storyline takes place right after Avengers versus X-Men. And remember, at the end of that event right there, Charles Xavier died. And with his death, Cyclops basically became the new Magneto. And so right now, Cyclops, he's very aggressive. He's not trying to be a hero anymore. He's just trying to protect the mutant race, and that is it. But he'll do anything he needs to protect the mutant race. And so Cyclops has become another Magneto. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning that is because when it comes to Magneto right now, he's even more aggressive. He's on a solo mission going around the world and basically right now attacking any humans who are plotting or trying to kill off mutants across the world. And so if you are a human and if you're planning to attack a certain group of mutants or just one mutant, Magneto will come and kill you. Now, back to Magneto, we do see him right now in the mountains, and he's going to this secret base. Now, this secret base is going to be very important, and honestly, I like this idea of what they're doing to Magneto and this storyline, but this base is going to be very important for later things to come. Now, we do jump to a different time period, and when I say a different time period, I mean that we have no idea if this moment takes place before Magneto goes to the mountains or after Magneto goes to the mountains. But either way, we do see a bus right now. And on this bus, you do have a few mutants on the back of the bus. And you do have a bus driver. And you have two regular humans in the front of the bus with the driver. And of course, the driver is also human. And so you have three people who are not mutants at all, while the rest of the mutants are in the back of the bus. But we come to find out that this bus is taking the mutants to a certain farm. Now, to these mutants, to them, they thinking that they're going somewhere that is going to protect them. But in reality, this driver and these two humans are going to take these mutants to some kind of farm where they are going to be murdered. Now, of course, these mutants are saved at the very last minute by Magneto. And of course, with Magneto at this point, like I said, he's more aggressive. He's very brutal. And so with that, we watch this man just kill almost every single person who's not a mutant on that bus, which in reality is only 3 people. But when it comes down to the last one, it's Magneto saying, listen, I'm going to kill you, but before I kill you, you are going to give me a certain amount of information that I need that is very important right now. But getting back to that moment where we see Magneto in the mountains going to that secret base, we do see him go deeper and deeper into the mountains until he walks into a certain room. And he tells us that this certain room in this base that's hidden in the mountains is very important because this room reminds him why he goes out there attacking humans who are trying to kill mutants. This room basically fills him up. It gets him ready when he's ready to go on his next mission. But of course, the way the story is going, we have no idea what this room is, what's inside there that helps him, reminds him why he is doing what he is doing. And of course, we do jump back over to Magneto going to that farm because remember, that bus from earlier was going to take those mutants to this farm. And to the mutants, this farm was going to be a place where they could be safe, protected, and no one is going to try to kill them. But in reality, when they arrived to this farm, they were going to be murdered. Now, with that being said, you have Magneto go there and he begins to go on a rampage, killing every single person on this farm. Because again, if you are a human and if you're trying to kill any kind of mutant at any kind of way, Magneto is going to be there to stop you. Magneto is going to be sure that you pay for your crime, and your pay for your crime is going to be your death. And so he kills every single person in this building. And of course, it belongs to a certain group that we have seen so many times over X-Men comics, and that group is the Purifiers. And the Purifiers are really a extreme Christian group that they believe that mutants are devil children. And so that is why they're on a mission killing off mutants left and right. They believe mutants are just devil children. And so of course you do have Magneto kill every single person here, including every single member of the Purifiers. And that is another base taken down by Magneto. But then we jump back over to Magneto in the mountains once again. And this is the moment we actually learn what is so special about that room in the mountains in that base. And that is the moment we come to find out it is a room where Magneto records every single mutant that has died by the hands of humans, so that it reminds them why he is doing this, because so many innocent mutants have died by the hands of humans, because humans just hate mutants for different reasons. Even though those mutants have never done anything to humans, they still died by the hands of humans. And so this is why this room is so special to Magneto, because it's him reminding himself why he is doing this, why he is out there to protect the innocent mutants that are being attacked by humans for no good reason. And guys, I love this chapter in this run because honestly, it shows Magneto he truly cares for mutants, even though what he does sometimes could be very brutal, very aggressive, but he's trying to do it in a way to protect his race. But getting into the 5th issue of Magneto, we actually pick up with him right now in a small town in New York. Now, with him being a small town in New York, is him saying like he loves to be in small towns. And the reason why? Because a lot of people in smaller towns don't know who he is. So he's able to freely walk around, get his coffee, get his breakfast, mind his business without anybody worrying or knowing who he is, without freaking out anybody. On top of that, he likes the idea of coming to a small town after he has to cut loose, which means go out on a big mission and killing a bunch of people. He loves coming back to a small town because it's quiet, it's easy to relax in. Now, here comes the problem though. Because even though Magneto is in this small town trying to relax, right now somebody is following him, trying to get close to him, trying to get any kind of information about him, some young lady. And so you're left to believe that this young lady could possibly be someone who is trying to 1, kill Magneto, or 2, working for S.H.I.E.L.D. and trying to bring him in. And so with that being said, she's following him where he goes, and she sees him go into a coffee shop, or a bookstore, sorry, and where he meets up with somebody and they basically trade some kind of information. Now, we have no idea what information was given to Magneto, but she saw it. And so she's kind of like, gold. I hit the gold mine. The problem is though, when she goes inside the bookstore to actually confront Magneto, he's gone. He is gone. And so she's like, okay, well, let me see if he's out back. She goes out back and Magneto grabs her. Now, of course, you do have Magneto ask her who she is, and she says her name is Briar Raleigh. Now, Briar Raleigh is coming to Magneto and telling him that she is not an enemy, that she's not here to capture him. She's not working for S.H.I.E.L.D., that in reality, she is actually here to help him on his mission, his long life goal, to go out there and take out any humans who are trying to hurt mutants in any kind of way. Now, with that being said, though, you do have Riley tell Magneto that she knows a lot about him, especially about the hidden base we saw in the last chapter that's in the mountains, and she knows about the special room that he cares so much about. And she says her and her group, They call it the scrapbook. Now, you do have Magneto kind of freaking out because this girl knows a lot about him, but he knows nothing about her. Now, he could easily go ahead and kill her, but the problem is, though, he wants to learn more about her organization and learn more about what does she want. And so with that being said, you have Magneto actually take her back to his hotel. And when they get back to his hotel, you do have Riley tell Magneto that her and her group can give Magneto almost anything he wants. Not money, not power, but targets. And also any kind of information about S.H.I.E.L.D. Because remember, in our last video, there were a couple S.H.I.E.L.D. agents trying to chase down Magneto. They were trying to chase him down. And so she says, I can give you almost any kind of background information about them, but also their weak points and their strong points. It's her saying, I'm on your side. But the reason why I'm here, because I know you are somebody who can't just sit still. You need to keep your hands busy. This quiet town, it relaxes you, but sooner or later, you need to cut loose. And so with that, I'm offering you the location of the Marauders. Now, the Marauders are very important in X-Men comics because when it came to them, they did one particular event that made Magneto very angry. They are known for the Mutant Massacre, one of the worst times in mutant history when a lot of mutants were killed. And of course, that right there makes Magneto very angry. And so he's kind of like, wait, you have the location of the Marauders? And she's like, yes, we do. And so he's like, fine. I guess we have a deal. I guess we'll work together. Now, after Magneto and Pryor say their goodbye to one another, you do have the storyline kind of give us more information about Pryor. Because up to this point, the only thing we know about her is that she works for some organization out there who has a location of the Marauders, and that is it. And so that is the moment the story tells us that one time Magneto went on a rampage, and when he did, a lot of people were killed or injured, and Pryor was there. Her family was killed, but she was injured. She was alive, the last one standing for her family. And so with that, it's kind of like, is she really wanting to help Magneto out? Or is she trying to get revenge against Magneto for what he did to her family and her so many years ago? But getting into the 6th issue of Magneto, we actually pick up with the 2 S.H.I.E.L.D. agents that we saw in our last video who are working very hard and trying their best to locate Magneto and to bring him in. And so with that being said right now, we actually pick up with the 2 S.H.I.E.L.D. agents talking to his latest victim, Scalp Hunter. Now, Scalp Hunter is, of course, one of the many members of the Marauders. And so with that being said right now, with Magneto having the location of the Marauders, he was able to literally find Scalp Hunter and take his arms and legs. But he left Scalp Hunter alive. And then you have Scalp Hunter tell the 2 S.H.I.E.L.D. agents that Magneto wants him to know that he is not done with Scalp Hunter just yet. Meaning that Magneto has more plans possibly for Scalp Hunter. But getting back over to Magneto, we do see him right now attacking 2 other members of the Marauders, Prism and Scrambler. Now, Prism and Scrambler are really like the C-list characters of X-Men comics. And really, I'm not going to bother explaining what their powers are, but let me tell you one thing about them. When it comes to Marauders like these 2 right here, they're not a human group that went around and killed mutants. Instead, they are mutants who went around killing other mutants, something Magneto cannot stand. How can you kill your own kind when right now there's other people who are trying to kill your kind? And so that is why Magneto is going after the Marauders, because they're going around killing their own kind at the moment. But getting back to that meeting we saw in the last issue between Magneto and Pryor, you do have Pryor tell Magneto something very important. which is that when it comes to the Marauders, when they are killed, there is some factory that is holding clones of the Marauders, meaning that Magneto may go out there and kill a certain member of the Marauders, but their clone will take their place. And so if Magneto wants to make sure that the Marauders are completely taken out, he needs to find that factory and kill it off before more and more clones are made to take the place of dead members of the Marauders. And then you have Briar tell Magneto that if he's able to accomplish this goal, he needs to remember that he needs to repay her with something that she wants. So we do jump back over to Magneto once again, and we do see him right now killing off the rest of the Marauders group. Now, of course, Sabretooth is not in this group right now because Sabretooth has long left the Marauders. But either way though, this is Magneto actually going after these guys and killing them off. Now, you're wondering, wait, Fresh, you just said that Mr. Sinister has a factory that was left behind that are holding clones of the Marauders. So even though Magneto may kill these guys off, the clones will take their place. Yes, you are right, but it takes some time for those clones to actually be activated. And so even though Magneto is right now killing off these clones left and right, the new clones will not be activated until a certain amount of time has passed by. And so Magneto has time to actually kill these guys off, find the factory, and to possibly stop the new clones from being activated. He has a little bit of time, but either way, Magneto was able to kill every single member of the Marauders we see right now in front of us. But getting back over to those two S.H.I.E.L.D. agents that were talking to Scalp Hunter earlier in this chapter, you do have Scalp Hunter one more time tell the two S.H.I.E.L.D. agents what he meant earlier, that Magneto was not done with him yet. And of course, they thought that maybe he meant Magneto might come back for Scalp Hunter to finish off the job. But you have Scalp Hunter say, no, that is not what I meant. What I meant is there is a clone me out there, and Magneto is going to do something with that clone me. He's done with this version of me, but my next version, oh, he is far from done with that next version of me. And to close on this video, we actually do pick up with Magneto finding the factory that belongs to Mr. Sinister that is holding the clones of the Marauders. And so with that being said, you would think Magneto would go ahead and just kill off all of these clones. But in reality, Magneto says, no, I'm going to use these clones, but for a different reason, to help me on my mission to protect the mutant race. But once these clones die, there will no longer be a new version of them coming out, meaning that after these clones die under their new cause working for Magneto, their sins will finally be paid for because they're not coming back to life in a new clone body. They're going to stay dead this time after they help Magneto. It's Magneto making his own army. And so with that being said, this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. Later, guys.